Okay, awesome. Well, welcome again, ladies. Amazing to see you. Yep, lots of apologies, lots of sickness and just busy people doing things. Of course, artists, they're out there doing amazing things, so we won't begrudge them that. So, yeah, some of the things that have happened for me since the last meeting. It was a great meeting. I was so happy with the turnout. We had about 7 or 8, I think, which was it was so cool. And one of the awesome things that did happen, which was really cool, was that a job came up. One of the ladies that came to the meeting, she shared a job, and it was with a well-known Māori mental health organisation that's had a good 30 years of serving the community. So I was like, oh, that was really interesting. I thought I'd go and just, bring them up and see what it was all about. And it sounded like an amazing opportunity to teach art in the community. But I'm way too busy. I thought, oh, it would be interesting if it was a full-time role, but it was only a part-time role. So it wasn't something that I could add into my schedule. So I was able to get in touch with a former student, Weaver, who got in touch and who was offered an opportunity to take the job. And she starts next week. So yeah, she really wanted to come tonight, but she wasn't able to come, and I was a little bit annoyed. But anyway, she will come at some point and report to us on that, because it was just, yeah, it was, I couldn't believe, just from that one meeting someone got a job, so I think that's enough evidence to for me to see that this is definitely worth doing. Personally, what else is there? Oh, we had apologies from Brenda, Lisa, Georgina, Doris, and Nicole. So there were some of the ladies. They just were too busy doing other art and, yeah, whānau stuff. Some were on courses tonight. So what else? The other thing for me, one of the things I noticed this last month was that my energy was really, really, really low. And I don't know if that's to do with the season or the weather or what it is. Probably something to do with my age, no doubt. But I learned in my art practice, which is, of course, weaving or mahi that mind, body, and spirit need to be, in a good place and in alignment before I can do my art well. And I've never really lived like that before, not to that kind of, not with that kind of consciousness around my well-being. And I'm not too sure why, but it's something about, I can see that it's something about wanting my weaving to be really good. That's like my motivation for checking that my well-being's really good. And it's a little bit, I'm not sure if embarrassing is the right word, but it is a little bit embarrassing that I've never wanted to be so good at something that I've been that kind of careful about how I live. And it surprises me that weaving has affected my whole life in a way that has meant that I'm more careful and more healthy and more conscious of my well-being than I have ever been in my whole life. But it's also nice that because when it comes to weaving and I can't weave because I'm too tired, I know I need a rest, that consciousness and that practice has moved over to other areas of my life, for instance, in my work. So I felt a little bit overwhelmed by work, like there's just so many things to do at the moment. But I've used the practice of how I look at my weaving, and that if I'm not feeling it, I shouldn't really do it. And so I've really backed off on my work. And what I noticed was, from having that rest, is that I'm really not as busy and overwhelmed as I thought I was. And it allowed me to just do one thing today and maybe another thing a bit later, and really I've actually done quite well, and I've only had a couple of really pressing things, just a couple, and all the rest is stuff that I know that'll be okay. And it's the little reminder, no one's going to die if literally nobody will be harmed or die if I don't do my work. You know what I mean? If I don't do my list this morning. So yeah, it was just the reflection for me of art practice as life practice, and how Mahiraranga provides all the layers required for the foundations of a peaceful, healthy life that align with, beautiful weaving as well. And I can see the the spiritual kind of, I can see life as the kete, I suppose. You're getting a bit arty here, but anyway, yeah, it was nice to notice that. So yeah, what I'm saying is I haven't been that productive this month. And that's cool, because I actually have, but it's not like in the ways that I wanted to be productive this month, but it's in different ways. What else? I was invited to participate in it's in the chat, hopefully it's still sitting there. There's a New Zealand organisation, it's a website called Felt, F-E-L-T, felt.co.nz, and it's an online shop for New Zealand makers, so it's all made. Oh, you know about it. I can see you nodding, so you know. Oh, so you might be able to talk about it more than I can. So, but yeah, that was brought to me through one of the girls in my class. She's a member, and she explained a little bit to us about how it works. But it's all handmade stuff, which is nice to know that there's something there for us that's just purely, it wouldn't get mixed up with other stuff. So and I guess people definitely are after something particular if they're going to that website. So I was really pleased to hear about it. Not that I've put anything on it yet, but I do plan to. And also there was also an invitation to participate in the World of Wearable Art, which I've never done before, but I've heard about. And so one of the ladies is in my class as well. So she wants to enter next year with my help. So I'm going through that process. That was really interesting to I haven't deeply looked into it, but just to know that it's free to enter. That was like, wow, that was good to know. And also I think it's in the South Island, when that one. So
Wellington.
Oh, Wellington. Sorry, Sal. Yeah, I know you always talk about this one. So it's she'll design it. I'll do the weaving stuff. Hopefully we'll work together on that. She can take the lead. I'll just be the support act, and that will be really interesting. That will be a real learning for me, and I'm very interested to see how that turns out. Also, she mentioned it's a really good thing, for the CV, and I thought, oh yeah, true. Yeah, so there's all these little things, interesting things to think about. Nice to be asked to collaborate on something pretty exciting. And yeah, so I've jumped in there and I've made a profile, and so yeah, that's another little thing that's just popped up. So I think that's everything that I wanted to talk about. Yeah, I'm just plodding along really at the moment. I've been making muka just from my plants outside. I haven't really been weaving, but yeah, just making muka, looking after my plants, and extracting muka when I have the chance, just to stockpile away to have ready in case I want to make something, or in case somebody asks me to make something, and also to stay, maintain my flow. And because if you got to use it or lose it, you lose your dexterity if you're not practicing. And even I hadn't done it for a few months, and I was like, man, felt like a beginner again. It's a real, yeah, it's a real muscle memory thing, but you can lose it if you don't do it. So yeah, it was good to catch up with the muka and my plants out the back and have a bit of time outside with the cats, out of the house. Yeah, so that's probably all I've got for now. I'll probably say something will probably come up for me later on when, as you guys share, I might add into later. But yeah, I'll just pass it on now to who was going next? Is that you, Sal?
I can go next if no
Did you
one
want
else is
to
going.
tell us what you've been up to? Yes, please.
Well, we're down in Taramanui, but in a little village called Kakahi, in my friend's house, because she's gone down to Oamaru to take photographs for a couple of months. So we're testing what it's like to live in the country. Not that we're planning to move, but it's a good change. It's just John and I, so it's very quiet. And the house that we're staying in is quite, rumpety. But Sarah, my friend, her son is a master weaver called Matthew McIntyre Wilson. I don't know if you've heard of him, but he's just had a big exhibition of fishing traps at Whanganui Museum. So we're surrounded in this house by lots of weaving, which is lovely. And he's got a lovely muka bush out the back. So I spend a lot of time harvesting and preparing. So much time in one day that I actually got tenosynovitis in my right hand, which I've never had before in my life. It all went red and swollen, which was pretty annoying because I had to rest. And so I extracted some muka, and then I'm battling on trying to make my first iti whakaaro by myself. And I'm just having trouble with the lock off at the end of the base. But I've got the plait perfectly at the top and the weaving is looking good. So I've got Ali Brown's book, which I'm referring to. I still haven't quite nutted it out, but hopefully I will. So that's my plan. That's my aim for the moment.
Fantastic.
That'd be enough.
Yeah.
That's enough for me.
Wonderful. I'm really pleased to hear you're weaving.
Oh no, I love to weave. I just wished I could get better, but I go to a class every Monday, not at the moment, obviously, and only hang out with Annie, True. And that's been really good for me. Just every Monday you go. It doesn't necessarily show you a lot, but there's other people there that can show you. And she's a very patient, kind teacher. Have any of you seen the film Tina?
Not yet.
Oh, well, Annie, the tutor, is very like the main character in Tina. And a woman just with a very big heart, and she just takes everyone in, and she's just lovely.
I've met her, and I don't know you're in Onehunga so often, mate. I live here, so let's have a
I
coffee.
know. I'd love to, because
And let me know next time you're in town.
I biked some home to Onehunga, and I often think, what street does Amber live on?
Yeah, Moana.
Hey, Moana. Okay. Oh, I'll text you next time before I come,
Lovely.
and we could meet up.
Yeah, Annie's well known. I have met her. And
Yeah,
I know a lot of the girls that have done a bit of weaving with her often will come and do the level 3 at Te Wānanga.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, she's in touch with those people. Yeah.
Yeah, so we definitely have shared a lot of students. Yeah, so it's nice to hear her name. I must go down and see her sometime and just say hello. And
You know, she's great, and she's got, she's got beginners, she's got middle, she's got advanced, and she just somehow manages just to do it all
amazing.
very calmly, and she's very kind, very kind people, which is great.
Yeah, cool. Oh, well, I'll see you soon, mate.
Okay, Amber. Lovely to hear you.
Thanks, Sal.
Bye.
Appreciate that, mate. Appreciate you coming.
Bye-bye.
Who's next? You want me to pick? It's gonna be Lizzie Gill.
Okay.
How you doing, Liz?
At the moment, I'm finishing or trying to finish my tukutuku panel that's done in traditional materials. At the time we went to get Kiki, I was kind of sick. So all I did was drive the car up there and drive it back because I couldn't get out of the car very often. And so I'm doing all mine in harakeke. And I did get a few strands. Last year when we went to get Kiki for our level 4 class, I kept mine instead of giving it away like everybody else did, and it's been sitting in the shed for a year. And I'm using that one, and it's come up a really lovely creamy white, and I'm so pleased with it because it looks really nice on my board. It kind of stands out. I've always wanted to do a toko panel, so doing this course this year is it's ticked off a box for me. It's a learning curve, definitely a learning curve, making sure you get the threads around. You've got to make sure it's flat, and if it's not flat, it doesn't look right, and then you're undoing things, or sometimes you just can't undo it, so you just have to cut it off. And that can be a little bit annoying, having to cut those things off again. But if it doesn't look right, you're not going to be pleased with it. And I've become a bit picky, so they say in my class, oh, that doesn't look right, and I'll cut it off. And they go, well, you're just getting really picky with it. But if it doesn't look right, you've got to take it off. You've got to redo it. Otherwise, you just won't be happy with it, and you won't finish it. And I'm quite pleased with the way it's coming. I want to do another one in the silk threads instead that's got more color in it, because using contemporary materials, your color palette is not as wide as it is when you're using contemporary threads or instead of the natural threads, because it's hard to find all the colors in the natural threads without having to dye it. And I just didn't want to dye a lot of things. This in this particular panel is trying to be as natural as possible, or as minimal colors as possible, without it going wildly astray. I've had to dye things twice because the first lot didn't come out really nicely, and it's my first time to dye things. I got to use the dye that you gave us last year before, so that was good. I now want to get more dyes. I mean, I've got enough stuff now, but I'm running out of room to put all my things, especially for those craft things. And the part you were talking about earlier, Amber, about having a little bit of self-care, because if you're not in line with yourself, you know, health-wise, spiritually wise, and just everyday thing wise, nothing's going to work right. Everything's going to look shitty, and everything's going to be really, really crap. And then you just get upset with yourself, you get depressed with yourself, and you've got to take that time to you know, concentrate and focus on what you want and not what other people want. I mean, in class it can be a little bit hard because you say you've got to do it this way and you've got to do it that way. And today we had a conversation around something, and it was like, why are we doing it that way? Because, you know, technology the way it is, we're becoming more advanced. We need to try different techniques, try different ways of doing it. Maybe using the same materials, but different ways of doing the same thing, or different patterns, or different ways of doing something. And it kind of opens you up a little bit more, and you don't feel so restrained to just follow the old techniques, because that's not working for me. Really, truly, for me, it's not working. It's just too limiting, I want to say. It's just a tad limiting. But I'm so excited because my board's nearly finished. I'm 90% done with it. And before the end of the semester, hopefully we get to make those little kitties out of macrame, and you know, to weave one without, well, with wool and stuff. And that's what I'm looking forward to doing, hopefully before we have our midterm break, because after that we're going to be doing a lot of harvesting to make a whareki, and we need 1,600 whenua for our projects, and that's a lot of harvesting and boiling and you know, happening. I ran out of steam on one lot. I just put a whole pile away in somewhere, and it's going to be, I'll do it later when I have to reboil them, and then I can hump in it. But you don't realize how much work comes into doing it, and it's a little bit taxing. So you do have to take time off from doing anything just to relax, and so you don't burn out, I guess. I actually saw a thread on Facebook recently, and some woman showed the machine that she was using to make kakahus. And I thought, well, that's a little bit depressing, because are they real? Do you consider them real if it's made off a machine and not done by hand like we've been doing? Do you get the same traditional feeling from them? I was given a very small, one of those mini kakahus for my 60th birthday last year. In one way, I like it because it's the colours I like, but in another way, I hate it because it looks so artificial. It doesn't feel like a real kakahu, you know, or it doesn't feel like any of that. And I told them I'm going to pull it to shreds later and do something with the feathers, because it just, I mean, it's nice to look at, but it just doesn't feel like it's got any mouldy in it, you know. I've kind of want to get more in touch with that instead of having something that's just been mass produced, you know. But that's my thing anyway. And well, that's been my month, really, other than the rain that won't stop. Yeah. And yeah, that's it for me. That's been my month anyway.
Wonderful, Liz. Thank you so much. Well, I just can't get over you, really. I just can't get over. I really can't get over you. You know, you've just gone miles and miles and miles and miles with this. You've taken it so much further from your beginnings. You know.
Oh yeah. Somebody had asked me at the beginning about that. What did I learn from Amber? And I says, well, when we started class, I said I may have not have learned shit, because all I wanted to do was weave. I didn't want to learn anything. I just wanted to weave. and get into the practice of weaving. And I says, I may have learned, I learned how to make a kono. Not that I'm ever going to use that again, but I learned how to make one. And it's just, I just wanted to weave something. And I thought, oh, that was fun. So I had to keep on going from there, see where I can go with it. And I've got more woven stuff around me now than I ever had. So yeah, I'm pleased that I changed my direction and focus and got more into this than anything else. Yeah. So thanks, Amber.
Yeah, no, my pleasure. Yeah, it was. I remember your semester. It was really rough because we were in and out of different buildings.
Yes,
and it was horribly difficult because of the rains. The rains had flooded Tiwananga, and Tiwananga was under construction for like 10 months or something. So we were in the MIT building, and then we were in a church, and we were out west. We were all over the show, so it was quite hard to actually settle and get a flow on for everyone that semester. Yeah, so yeah, I'm happy. I'm really happy to see that you stuck with it and you've gone, and it is interesting, isn't it, to see what vibes with you and what you start to uncover your style, your flavor, the things you love doing, and you take it, down your own pathway. That's really cool, and there's so much scope for that within, raranga and whatu. It's endless, really, what you can do. Yeah, and it's just really lovely because you spoke for quite some time just then, and I just could feel the joy and the enjoyment that you're obviously getting out of it, and you've really found your vibe. So sorry for commenting, but it's lovely to see your joy.
It's fine. I don't mind at all.
Rolling. Awesome. Thanks, matey. Appreciate you so much for coming and sharing with us. And it sounds like it's been an awesome month. And look forward to catching up with you next month. But don't leave. But yeah, thanks, Liz. Oh, looks like you're up, Katrina.
Kia ora, hello. It's been a big month, and I think such a buzz this week to go to the graduation ceremony and don that gown and be with all the other students. I don't know. Yeah, thank you for being part of that, and yeah, it's really, really special. In terms of my weaving, we had noho last weekend and started the kete pikau, the backpack, and I spent all of last week preparing strips, and Liz, what you were saying about just all the prep. And we've started dyeing, and I ordered orange, dark green, light green, and blue. Like, I wanted to try all the colours, and I want to make some things to take overseas as gifts for a trip that's coming up. So I wanted to kind of test the colours. Got to noho, and my strips, my whenua weren't quite long enough for the real pikau, so I ended up making a mini one with 60 instead of 80, and it's so cute. And my daughter Jessica, I sent photos to my daughters, and I said, do you want Hazel to have this as a backpack? She's my 3-year-old granddaughter, and just like this little mini pikau on a little toddler. And yeah, so that's the next step, is to finish that off. But what else? Oh, I got my period around 5 o'clock on Friday evening at noho, and I was in intense pain by 7:30, and we were learning a new technique, and a kayako teachers right up till midnight. People just keep on weaving and weaving, and I went to bed around 9:30, but just that sense of pushing through when physically I wouldn't if I were home on my own. and like the next morning wanting to learn all the steps so that I could come home and finish it. Yeah, so I haven't done any harvesting because I'm bleeding, and now it's raining, and it's really weird to have that whole week of full on harvesting, boiling, dyeing, counting, prepping, taking the car, and then this week's kind of like chilled. Yeah. So what's up for me next is I'm really curious about natural dyes, and I don't know where to find information on that. I mean, I could do a Google search and see what I find. So maybe when we stop recording, or if you have something to share, Amber, that would be cool. And what else? 10th of June coming up. I'm going to go along to the community day at the Auckland Botanic Gardens Harakeke, and Angela Anstis has agreed to let me show my composting methods for composting harakeke, which is like, it'll be sort of like, I don't know, test run of what do the weavers think, and how is it useful. What do I need to be able to describe? What questions will people have? What do I need to take to teach that method of composting? So kind of nervous about that, but also really really excited. What else was the structure? So it's like what we've made, what we're working on, and what we're coming up, and the next steps. So I think I've ticked all that off. Yeah. Oh, one other thing I want to do. I was at a client's office yesterday, Ceres Organics. I teach them gardening, and like a lot of my clients, I'm kind of gifting like the mats and the kono, and like just getting it into other people's hands and sharing my love of the raranga and the harakeke. And so the little kono basket was just like a sample of all the different colors of dye that I've been testing. And so my contact there, she was like, oh, I'm going to give this to my daughter, who I think is preschool. And I'm thinking of like writing up either a blog post or a little YouTube video that's sort of for a 4 or 5 year old, showing the steps from here's the plant, and here's what we cut, and here's how we strip it, and then we soften it, and then we boil it, and then we dye it. And just, I don't know, it's I think when I was growing up, I didn't fully appreciate all the steps that went into spinning wool to knit a jersey. And Liz, what you were saying about the moulding of a garment or an item, I think I don't know if it needs to be shown or intellectualized, but I know that as a child I would have loved to have seen this came from that. Wow. And it was all done by hand. Wow. Yeah. So that's something I'd like to do this month. That's all for now.
Brilliant, awesome. Oh, thank you. So many things. Number one, date for the Botanic Gardens, please.
Oh, it's the 10th of June. There's a poster on the Botanic Gardens website. I think if you go to the tab on harakeke and scroll down to the bottom of that page, it's a sort of a black and white poster. I think from memory it's 9 till 2:30. Bring Kai for a shared lunch. And I know last year Angela made a kumara soup with kumara from the edible garden at the Botanic Gardens, and so there was that kind of giving back. And I've never been to one, but I presume it's take all the gear and help tidy up the plants like a working bee. And with the Botanic Gardens, they have that tikanga of not using box cutters with snappable blades. Yeah, if anyone's going.
Cool. Oh, that sounds awesome.
And then the following week, actually.
Bring it on.
Wednesday, the 18th of June, Angela, again at the Botanic Gardens, she's doing like a guided tour of the Pāhara keke, and she'll be talking about the whakapapa of the plants and how a lot of them came from Tuako's Pāhara keke and Buckley Fires, the weaver, whose work is on display at the museum. And I lived near Tuako, so it was a big focus of the level 3 Kairaranga last semester, was like, this, like all these connections. But yeah.
Isn't it neat?
Mm.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's wonderful. Yeah. I can't even talk really. It's just so awesome. I think I might be free to go to that 10th of June one. I'd love to see what you're doing.
Yeah,
it's really,
you don't
really
have
exciting.
you don't have to go for the whole day. I think it's a drop in and out, and however, and she's kind of said you can set up a display and talk during the lunch break. So it's not
Okay.
like it's a formal teaching session or anything. It's more
Right.
Yeah.
What area do you think you'll know where you'll be set up, or?
I think
No,
the
I
lunch is going to be in, is it the Logan Campbell room, like the little
okay, down the
meeting
side.
space near the edible section?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, I'll let my class know as well.
Awesome.
Yeah, because they'll benefit from that. Let me just have a little look and see if I've covered everything that I wanted to cover. Yeah, I think that's enough. I just wanted to, I've said everything I wanted to say. That was cool. So I think I will just thank anyone that's come to watch this. Amazing. We might get 1 view. That'll be amazing. 2 views will be like off the chain. I'd love that so much. And yeah, just thank everyone for what you shared in the meet tonight. And I'll just stop recording there so we can have a real catch up. But yeah, thank you. So let's get that.